Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion and recording Sunday's post a little bit later because I didn't record it last night on Saturday night. As I've shared with you, things have been really busy in my life, and the evening times have been times where I just need to unwind and just read, is what I've been doing. Reading a novel, that is so nice. And decided that, again, recording in the morning, Sunday morning here before I head out the door to my election training job, which is only going to go for one more week during this cycle. It is a busy time. And again, as I said before, I appreciate your understanding that these posts are a little bit wangly, jangly, wonky when I am putting them out. And also that I'm not doing the written posts like I did frequently. Do hope to get back to those. Well, without further ado, let's jump in. I do have a psalm to share with you. I want to talk about gratitude. And also, we have a story, a great story for today's Sunday, third Sunday of Easter Gospel. So, a lot to cover in a few minutes. Well, let's jump in. As we always begin, let us remember by grounding ourselves, by recognizing that whenever we are present in the present moment, when we're paying attention, listening, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, that that is when we know and experience the presence of the more, because we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. Well, let's start with gratitude, because this was the theme that came up twice today in two things that I read each morning. One is the gratitude challenge that I have been involved with through grateful.org. I'll put a link to grateful.org in the notes here. It's too late to sign up for the gratitude challenge. It is a paid thing. And I've been enjoying it. Each day I get an email with a practice and a reflection. And today's I thought was particularly helpful. And I wanted to share that with you because what today and really this week is about in this gratitude challenge is to move from gratitude or sort of event, or let's call it contextual gratitude, to living gratefully, because those are different things, right? And what this reflection reminds us is that this trait, gratitude, being grateful for a thing or an event or a moment as we're living our life, this one particular thing, that's important. And yet, the challenge is, especially in these difficult times, is to go further than that and to live a life of gratitude, right? Grateful living. And what this means is, it talks about this. It says to do this requires practice, which changes our perspective and makes our gratefulness recognizable to ourselves and others, not only in our actions, but in our responses to life. Practice is the key to remaining committed to this way of being in both the joyful and challenging times. Life can never be one way for too long, but we can be consistent in our character each step of the way. And I think it's that last line, being consistent in our character, no matter what life does. So to go through life seeing everything as gift, everything as grace, being able to say thank you, please, and to offer that to others. So that's my challenge. And I got confirmation, or perhaps a pathway to living that, in something else I read this morning, which I will share with you here at the end. Second thing I wanted to talk to you about before we get to the psalm is the scripture today in the Episcopal liturgical cycle for the third Sunday of Advent. And it's the walk to Emmaus, the road to Emmaus. And you know this story. And what I love about the story, and I'm not going to summarize it here for you, but the key part of the story is that the two people that are walking, Cleopas and whoever the other is, um, the rest of the story, the illumination, the insight, the realization that they have been walking with Jesus would not happen if they did not invite him, this mysterious traveler, in to stay. So it is through the hospitality, through welcoming a stranger, that the rest of the story opens up. And you'll remember once they welcome him to stay for the night, he takes the bread, he blesses it, breaks it, and gives it, which incidentally are the same 4 words that we get with the feeding of the masses in all 4 gospels, right? Take, bless, break, and give. And it says that he does that there on in Emmaus with these two, and presumably perhaps more people. And it is in that moment, in the breaking of the bread, that they recognize him, and he disappears, right? He vanishes. And then they run back to Jerusalem. And the takeaway line is, were not our hearts burning within us as we were hearing this on the road, right? That idea of hearts burning within us, right? It reminds me of John Wesley when he talks about his moment of conversion in a very specific place in a specific time. And he'd always been a faithful person. Something, though, shifted, and he said he felt his heart strangely warmed, right? So, this idea of a connection, of a illumination, a lightening, a heating, a warming, whatever it might be, in a certain moment, right? And I think, again, we can experience that more often than we think, just by being present and just by being grateful to whom or what we experience. All right, third part here is the scripture, or the psalm for the day. It is Psalm 109 that we are reading. It's kind of a long one, and it's in a pattern that we've seen before, where my enemies are against me, O Lord, and punish them. There's a kind of a series of curses, a number of verses where the psalmists say, "May this," may his children become fatherless and his wife be left with no husband. I mean, pretty brutal stuff, right? Kill him. And this plea for revenge and retribution. And again, when we see the so-called Christians, the hippo-Christians, the Christians in name only, the Christian nationalists, all those insane folks, this is the kind of God that they are worshiping, a God that will smite enemies. It's not Jesus's God. Jesus never says that, ever, ever, ever. So this is kind of what we find in various places in the Old Testament, but not all in all the Psalms, right? It's frequent, but as we've heard, there's many Psalms where other types of praise and prayer requests are happening. But the verse that stood out to me is the psalmist talking about this, this enemy, the one who is persecuting him. And it says this, it's verse 17. This is his nemesis, his enemy. He loved to bring down curses on others. Now let them fall back on him. He took no joy in blessing others, so let blessing be removed far from him. And actually, I meant to read the verse before that, which was 16, because this is the indictment of the problem, or the evil of this enemy, this nemesis. He never thought of showing love and kindness. Instead, he hunted down the poor and needy and drove the brokenhearted into the grave. So there's the indictment. He never showed love or kindness, and he drove down the brokenhearted and poor and needy and drove them into the grave. And again, isn't that what we are seeing today with this demented king who by the day seems to become more insane, who is battling against one type of Christianity that is represented by Pope Leo, and leaning into, through some kind of Bible verse he's going to read today or this week, by leaning into that and supporting that, which is a very different kind of Christianity, right? A Christianity that is really, quite frankly, more focused on this vindictive, smiting, smoting, punishing God. And again, that is not the God of Jesus. That is not the God of Pope Leo and Catholicism and all, organized, well-lived, true Christianity. All right, I want to end with a little thing that I think will be a good tool for me as I really try to practice this grateful living. And it comes from that Ignatian book that I read, and it's the Ignatian Book of Days. And this is from Tim Muldoon called the Ignatian Workout. And it is a litany for thanks. So as we go through this day, as I go into what I'm going to be doing today and what you will be doing, and also this week ahead, and who the heck knows what current events are going to bring. I mean, every week it seems like we couldn't top the previous one, and then we do. So here's the gratitude, not list, but litany, right? So let us give thanks for creation itself, our ancestors, and those who struggled to give us life. Give thanks for your biological mother and father, whether you know them or not. Give thanks for your immediate family, whether related by blood or not. Give thanks for your body, whether you like the way it is or not. Give thanks for your faculties of sense, even if some seem faulty. Give thanks for your intelligence, whether or not you think you have enough of it. Give thanks for your special talents, whether or not you think them useful. Give thanks for your friends and loved ones, whether alive or dead. Give thanks for your work, whether for money or not. Give thanks for your play. Even though it may seem infrequent, give thanks for your possessions, no matter how much money they are worth. And lastly, and most importantly, give thanks for your time to live, for this moment, this time, this place to live, no matter how quickly it seems to pass. All right, y'all, back with you again soon. Blessing and good, be bold, be well, hold fast, y'all.